Hey guys, and welcome back to Ames's Corner. Got a few things kicking today. Looks like we got a 81 Fiat overheating. We got here's the good one though, 65 Mustang, sat for 25 years. So, here's that Fiat. I got that sit out here. I was going to let it run to overheat, but when I started it up, as soon as I started it up, all these radiator hoses got rock hard within like 10 seconds. They went from being spongy to rock hard, so something's going on with this thing. Neat car, Fiat 2000. Locked up. Seen better days. I saw this last year, and I had to put a window regulator in this door. Let me tell you something. These window regulators, if you have a Fiat, you don't want to do those. They're just like a cable mechanism. I don't remember if I did a video on this car way back then. Pininfarina styling, you know. That was the design house. They made a lot of cars, a lot of designs for a lot of companies. You know, that would probably be my personal second favorite design firm, right behind Giorgetto Giugiaro. My New England accent butchers every name. What can you do? What can you do? So, pretty straightforward though. This car's been in service. But anyhow, let's go take a look at the meat and potatoes we got out back here. So, there it is. Must say I like that plate. It's a cool plate. Cool plate. So it looks like it's been repainted fairly recently. As is typical with a lot of cars that come to me, I really have very little backstory on them. You know, who owned it, where it was, what's been done to it. So I got to kind of go in here and assess the situation. So, I mean, it's definitely been recently repainted. You can see all the overspray line. Kind of a sloppy job. But it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, there's that 289, that small block Ford. So when this pulled in this morning, I noticed it was leaking a lot of fuel from this up here corner. I'm going to say something with that. Looks like a recently replaced fuel pump and some fuel filters, but it was leaking a lot of real old fuel. This car stunk when it came in, and they drove it in. The customer drove it here, leaking a lot. You know, I probably would have towed it, but maybe they didn't know. You know, that's what it comes to me for. Interior is 80% there, it looks like. Missing a few bits and pieces, you know. Not bad for how old it is. Look at this. Here's something you don't see. A lot of people don't wore these seats out. You don't get to see the nice Mustang panel. That would get uncomfortable on a long trip, I would imagine. So let me get this in. Let me get this up on the lift, and we'll see what shape it really is in. I know those tires are pretty scary, but I'll wait till it's on the lift to show you that. So I'll see you in a minute. Alright, I got this thing up on the lift here. I found the fuel leak. Maybe if it'll show up. If you look at that line right here, you'll see a little wet spot on it. Looks like someone pinched it or something, putting that fuel pump and fuel filter on. So I got to take care of that. I'm going to change the oil. That's another thing you want to do on these old cars before you really run them, is change the oil. You want to check all the lines, make sure nothing's where it's not supposed to be, or stuff like the oil pan isn't rotted out. We got some leaks, but nothing terrible here. Probably the worst thing I noticed is if you look up these, looks like brake lines, or maybe the fuel lines, I'm not sure. But these were right there into the drive shaft. Sorry, it doesn't really show. Those were touching the drive shaft. Also, I got this, if you look at this parking brake cable, you know, that's safe. That's cool. That's cool, you know. You just let that wind that parking brake cable up. So You know, this is the kind of thing on these older cars, you don't want to just start driving them until they've really been gone through. I want to check things like if the rear end's leaking hardcore or anything, but this looks alright. You look in these backing plates for signs of oil that the axle seals might be going, but everything looks nice and dry. You know, looks like there's been some work done here and there. Looks like we got a little bit of rust hole that someone patched, but not uncommon for this, for up here in the rust belt. So I'm gonna get these fluids changed, and yeah, look at these tires. Look at these. Look how cracked that is. I could probably peel these treads right off of here. That's another thing you got to worry about on older cars, is the tires that are on them could be pretty rough. Should show up too, you know. So I'm going to get these fluids changed. I'm going to secure those lines off the drive shaft. I'm going to fix this fuel line up, and then we'll take this for a ride. So let me get into this thing a little more, and I'll see you in a minute. Alright guys, I got that fuel leak taken care of. I got those lines secured. I got that oil changed. I did a couple other little things. So we're gonna take this on its first official drive. One thing, it's got a mechanical choke, so it might stall on me. Let's see if we can shut that off with it. Oh. Alright, there we go. So here we go. Nice little drive in a 65 Mustang with the 289. Now, this thing sat for 20 years, and I can tell you by the smell of this thing, it smells like it was a mouse hotel for 19 of those 20. But that's what you get with these old cars, you know. You let them sit, and the mice like to take residence and do their damage and make their smell. So, boy, it gets awful busy around here this time of day. So here we go. And it's not fast at all. Definitely not fast by today's standards. But neither is the Sonnet. The Sonnet's not fast, and it's not really what it's about. It's about some locking up rear brakes. That was kind of cute. Just kind of kicked the back end out on me there when I hit the brakes. But that's another thing with these old cars. They've got they typically have drum brakes, and this one has four-wheel drums, and when they haven't been used in a while, they can be kind of finicky until they get hot, until they get rebroken in. I'm sure these, if you guys had watched that Pontiac Bonneville video, and what I went through to square the drum brakes on that. So, you know, that's something else you got to keep in mind on these old cars. You know, they don't stop like a new car. Definitely don't stop like a new car. Like catching that light. Doesn't handle horribly. Definitely doesn't. It's not all floaty. You know, I can actually somewhat take my hand off the wheel. I definitely won't try taking my hand off the wheel on the brakes in case this thing wants to dive. So I'm gonna wait till we get some no traffic. I'm gonna do a little brake check here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's feels like that left rear is jamming up on me. Feels like that left rear. A little bit of right hand pull. I think maybe that the left front's a little loose and that left rear's a little tight. Goes all right. Now it's an automatic. It's got the auto in it, so it's not like you can really hold the revs up and make some extra torque or the RPMs. But like I said, it's not a performance car. It's not what this is going to be. This is going to be just a cruiser, daily driver type of affair. So, you know, it is what it is. It's another fun old car I get to work on. Not that that's easy. So, my recording device is telling me my time's almost up. So I have to make a real sharp right-hand corner to get off the road. So, until next time, guys. Until next time. You guys keep it out of the cabbage, and I'll do what I can to keep this old girl here out of the cabbage.